Thank you, chat, to whoever told me that I need to cover his testimony. There were several of you.
I heard they rented a gray Altima initially. I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car.
Oh my God! I just realized. I think they were trying to make it look like he did it. The Adelsons. Oh my Lord.
And the other part that's really significant is the kids talked about me constantly. I have all kinds of text messages and...
I believe this man. I don't know about you. I believe him. You must follow the law. The law says...
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up. It's the Law with Attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we're going to continue with Jeffrey's testimony. We're going to conclude it and then move on to Wendy. Wendy is going to take us a couple of days. It's going to take us through this long weekend, and they're going to be long videos. Each one is going to be probably almost an hour, I anticipate. So be on the lookout for those, and I cannot wait to share them with you. So without further ado, let's finish up Jeffrey's testimony. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Was there a time when you were over at Ms. Adelson's residence and you observed that her TV was broken?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. When did that occur?
That would have been around the week of June 11th to 18th, somewhere in that time period. I went over Wendy's to spend time with her and the kids, and she asked me to take a look at the television. I turned it on. She said there was a problem with the TV, so I turned it on expecting to see like input 1 flashing, or the kids pushed the wrong button or whatever. And what I'm looking at when I turn it on is a screen that's been partially shattered, that's been struck by an object.
You know,
So
how you,
she had a
you know how you fix a broken TV like that? You get a new one. That's what you do.
TV.
All right. And did she tell you what happened to the TV, how it got into that?
No, she kind of asked me to look into the TV as if she didn't know. I looked around. It was impossible to me that the kids would have done it, but I didn't know the better explanation at the time. So I was kind of mystified as to what happened. It looked like a human being stood, between 5 and 6 foot, something like that. It stood in front of it and hit it. That's what it looked like. But she was asking me.
Okay, so it was like an impact mark, like a round impact with spider webs.
Exactly, and then the pixels are distorted. Most people have probably seen this, so it's, and it wasn't completely shattered. You could sort of see what was going on the television, but it's not a TV anybody would normally watch.
Okay. All right, so let's move away from the TV for now. Was there a date that you had with Wendy Adelson on, gosh, have I gone backwards in time here? It was the day before her birthday. What was the date of that?
We were scheduled to have a date. The day before her birthday is April 21st. We were scheduled to have kind of a special date night that night. Wendy didn't answer her phone, didn't answer texts. And I got so concerned about her, a few hours after the date was supposed to have started, I just drove over there to check on her, knocked on the door for a while. She finally came to the door, appeared to be intoxicated, and not just on alcohol. I mean, weary-eyed. I'm not sure what substances, but it wasn't good. She wanted me to stay, and I was annoyed enough that I actually just left. I didn't stay the night. So.
Okay, so I kind of got our timeline out of her, but some erratic behavior from her on April 21st and then again on June 4th.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to approach and show you a text message that was sent on June 28th of 2014. And I've marked it as State's Exhibit 141. Have you ever had a chance to review this text message before?
Yeah, you showed this to me last week.
All right, and this message had never been shown to you before last week, right?
Right.
And it's been testified that this was from Wendy Adelson to her brother Rob Adelson, but it concerns you.
Yes.
Is there anything factually incorrect in what Wendy Adelson is stating in that text message?
Well, when she says I haven't told mom and dad about me, I met them multiple times. It's implausible that they didn't know we were dating. For example, I was aware that Donna wasn't thrilled that I wasn't Jewish, So that doesn't add it. This doesn't make sense to me in terms of like seeing me for 6 or 7 months.
So in that text message, she's saying, that you're a secret boyfriend from the parents. Were you a secret boyfriend from the parents at that time?
It's implausible. No, I don't think so.
In fact, you'd met the parents several times.
Yeah, and had conversations with them, limited conversations, but conversations. And the other part that's, I think, really significant is the kids talked about me constantly. I have all kinds of text messages and emails where Wendy's mentioning the kids are down in South Florida talking about me.
So to this time, I'd ask to move into evidence stage 141.
So she was trying to terminate her relationship with Jeffrey in anticipation of a catastrophic life event as Jeffrey was about to lose a coworker, and she knew about it. That's why she was acting so radically, and that's why she wanted to distance herself from him, because she probably couldn't stomach the idea of being able to look him in the eyes ever again. Because at some point she may accidentally admit something or spill her guts or whatever, so she decided to just, I mean, it makes sense. I'm not surprised.
No objection.
Stage 141 is admitted at this time.
Okay, I want to draw your attention next to a disagreement that occurred with Wendy Adelson on June 29th of 2014. Do you recall that incident?
I do.
Okay. And at that time, did you confront Wendy about some suspicions you had that she was seeing other men?
Yeah, that was part of it. That was the main part of the disagreement. I also had spent the last 2 or 3 months concerned that she seemed to be stringing me along.
Where did the fight occur?
The fight occurred in Gainesville.
Okay, and I say fight, it was a verbal disagreement.
It was verbal disagreement, and argument's not even the right word. We just exchanged words, yeah.
Okay, and did that exchange of words lead to an awkward drive together back to Tallahassee?
It did, a very awkward drive back to Tallahassee.
And that was?
That's the morning of the 29th or 30th. It was the 30th, the morning of the 30th.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've said this yet, but I just want to say, I really like Jeff. He seems honest. He seems like he's telling the truth. He seems like is just trying to help with whatever he has to offer. Notice how he's not trying to make Donna out to be like this evil wench or Wendy to be like this mean person. He's just like, this is what happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. And you sift through it and you figure out what to do with it, ladies and gentlemen of the jury and Miss Prosecutor. So that's a really good witness. Thank you all for telling me to do Jeff, by the way. This is awesome. This is really, really good. I can't wait to do Wendy next. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't forget to get more videos, of course.
Okay.
Served right to you. And
after you parted ways, once you returned back to Tallahassee on the 30th, what was the status of your relationship over the next couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, we left that, when I left on the 30th, when he was clear that it wasn't over, but it wasn't great that we'd had this exchange either. So over the next couple of weeks, we had phone calls, text messages, video chats with the kids. My take was, seems like it's probably going to be okay, but I didn't know for sure. It did string the relationship out another couple of weeks when it easily could have ended.
When was the next time you saw her in person?
July 13th.
All right, so about, I guess that's the Sunday before the murder, is that right?
That's correct.
And where did you see her?
We went to dinner and a movie. I picked her up at her house at Aqua Ridge. We went to dinner and a movie and then returned there.
Okay, well, we're on the topic of Aqua Ridge. I'm going to approach and show you what's been introduced in the evidence. All right, we'll circle back to Aqua Ridge. So we're on the disagreement, didn't see her for a while, saw her on July 13th. And you were at her residence. What was the plan for that evening?
I didn't know. It was just to spend time together and maybe talk about the relationship some, but we were conversing. We had conversations.
Were the kids there that night?
They were not.
Okay, so it was just the two of you at the residence?
Just the two of us.
All right, and did the subject of relocation come up?
Yes.
In what context?
It came up in the context of whenever Wendy got back from Miami, she was always very upset about the fact that the relocation had previously been denied. I mean, it had been legally denied, but she wasn't over it. It was a constant refrain about how much she hated Tallahassee. So we're talking about the future of our relationship, and I'm asking, are you going to be here? Because with the constant complaining about how hard it was on her parents to transport the kids and just the constant complaining, I was just thinking, is she even going to be here? Is it worth trying to push forward in the relationship? And she said the only way that I'd ever relocate is if something would have to happen to Danny.
Oh, whoa. Pause. The night before Danny is murdered, brutally, Wendy is insinuating, according to Jeffrey, and so far he has left zero impression why we shouldn't believe pretty much everything he says. I believe this man. I don't know about you. I believe him. She's upset that the order got denied to relocate the children down to South Florida by the court. And now all of a sudden, he's saying Wendy is insinuating, well, something would have to happen to Danny. She accidentally slipped up and kind of told the truth in so many words to Jeff. Something would have to happen to Danny before the kids are able to relocate down to South Florida, i.e. once we take care of him, then I can have the kids down in Miami. Whoa, my head is spinning.
After the same ruling at sidebar, the objection is overruled, pending the other matters that do have to be addressed. You may continue, Ms. Kappelman.
Please repeat your answer.
Yeah, the only way she'd ever be able to relocate is if something happened to Danny, was the first statement.
Okay, and did she mention anything further about something happening to Danny?
Can I give the context before the next?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was getting a little tired of this whole drama around the relocation. And so I pushed back on Wendy a little bit and said, like, you're going to have to kind of make your peace with this. You're going to have to take some responsibility for this. You're linked to Dan Markell for life. Kind of challenged her a little bit. And she said, well, can I tell you something confidentially? And I said, sure. And she said, last summer...
Same ruling remains. The objection is overruled. You may continue with your answer.
She
Can
said,
I tell you something in confidence?
Yeah, can I tell you something? After I challenge her, can I tell you something in confidence? Sure. Well, last summer, my brother looked into all options possible to take care of the Danny Markell problem, including hiring a hitman, and it would cost about $15,000.
Okay, and when she referred to her brother, she's got two of those, right?
She said Charlie.
Okay. And
Wow.
when she said Charlie looked into hiring a hitman,
Wow.
are you familiar with Charlie's joke? I looked into hiring a hitman, but got you a TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper.
Yeah, Wendy told me that joke a couple of times. This was not that joke.
Okay, so this was something different.
Yeah, the joke was said with levity. It's a dark joke, but this I found chilling. I found disturbing. It made my stomach flip. It kind of took me aback. It was, she was dead serious when she said this, and she'd asked to tell me in confidence, which you don't do before you tell a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to take you to the next day then. So we're at July 14th, the Monday before the murder.
Yes.
Did you see Wendy Adelson on that date?
Yes, we had contact throughout the day trying to arrange some kind of date. It kind of ebbed and flowed. But she was real enthusiastic about seeing me at one point, and then like mid-afternoon, let's just meet at yoga is what was decided. So we went to yoga.
Okay, what happened after yoga?
Well, I was wondering why we were at yoga, because when he was being very strange, I felt like the relationship was over. She wasn't feeling well. I'm not a big yoga guy, so I didn't understand why we were at yoga for like 80 minutes, stretching. But then when we left yoga, we barely spoke, and I was just getting a vibe that this is over. Tried to talk about the relationship, didn't go very well. It was pretty clear to me. My internal thoughts were like, well, this is over. And she didn't want to spend time with me the rest of the week, so I just put my hands up like this. I remember this vividly, and just turned around and walked away.
Where were you when that was happening?
We're in the parking lot of Journey's Yoga over by Winn-Dixie.
Okay, so you have your two respective vehicles there and
Yes.
you're parting ways.
Yes.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip, and she wanted to know what route I would be taking. And if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why, at that moment, she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday when she expressly didn't want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay, and we now know that Dan Markell was murdered on Friday.
Yes.
Right? If you had taken the trip as planned, which is as you reported to Wendy that day, what would your route have been?
I would have left my house at about 11 a.m., which Wendy knew. I'd related my plan to her earlier in the relationship. Needed to get to Atlanta for dinner and was worried about traffic and stuff like that. So I would have left at 11, and I would have driven down. I would have got to Capitol Circle in Thomasville, which is close enough to Danny's house that it kind of gave me the creeps. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay, so physically you're saying you might have been...
Oh, Wendy was worried that he may be nearby, and maybe he would, on his way, just willy-nilly make a pit stop at Danny's house or something, or he would be within earshot or something like that. Or maybe the murder would have already occurred, and then police would have been already on the scene, and then he would see the chaotic scene, and now his trip would be interrupted, and he would be a crucial key witness to the prosecution, and they would have gotten caught so much sooner, so much quicker. That makes a lot of sense. That's why she needed to know his trajectory, time, etc., to make sure that he doesn't get directly involved. Otherwise, it's going to be lights out for the Adelsons much faster than 11 years worth of investigation and the fourth trial, as we heard.
Sort of consistent with how the killers fled town.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because so far we had the trial of the hitmen, probably co-defendants because they kind of acted in concert, Katie and Charlie, and every single one got convicted so far. Donna's next.
And after this yoga date and the discussion of your travel plans, did you get an email from Wendy?
I did.
I'm going to publish what's been introduced into evidence as states GG. Sorry, 64 GG. Is this the email she sent you after the yoga date?
Yes.
All right, so is she breaking up with you? Is that clear?
No, she's asking, well, I considered based on our interaction, I thought this is over. I had told Wendy if she wanted to break up with me, she doesn't like confrontation, just send me an email or text. She sends me this, which strings everything out for another week. So she's not breaking up. Functionally, that's realistically, I'm not dumb. I'm thinking we're over. But she's asking for another week, which brings it to the 21st of July. And I was puzzled. I wondered what in the world is going to happen July 21st. But I just didn't respond because she asked for no contact.
All right, so she wants to have no contact for a week.
Right.
Okay.
Because she's stressed the hell out.
I was able to find that photo I was looking for earlier, 86A.
Her ex-husband.
I can show you that.
Through the hitmen. Oh my god. These people are
86A.
horrible.
Yeah, that's Wendy's Adelson's residence on Aqua Ridge, and that's what it looked like when we were dating.
Okay. We have an evidence 86A.
The new objection. There you are. 86A is admitted at this time.
May I publish?
You may.
All right, so I blurred the boys' faces, but this is how the residents at Aqua Ridge appeared.
Yes.
And the kids' art that's shown on the wall here, was that present during the time that you were dating Wendy Adelson?
Yes.
Was it something that like art would come down, other art would go up, or was it pretty fixed?
It was, maybe some art would get added, but I never saw any come down until July 14th.
Right.
13th, sorry, July 13th.
July 13th, you noticed that the art had been taken down?
We walked into the kitchen, and then Wendy was pulling art off the wall. The only time I'd ever seen her do that.
Because that would be a memory of Danny, and she didn't want... Oh, my God. It's all coming together.
And I want to ask you about... I've nicknamed it the celebration dinner. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell the jury about that, please?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay on understanding the court's prior.
Objection is overruled.
Wendy and I reestablished phone contact about 10 days after the murder. She called me, and we had 3 or 4 phone calls. In one of them, she related that her and Charlie had gone to what Charlie called a celebration dinner, and at that dinner, Charlie said something to her. She didn't specify what it was, and she spontaneously vomited all over the table.
Are you aware, sir, that you were suggested as a potential suspect in this murder? Where were you when Dan Markel was murdered?
I was in Tennessee because I had left on my trip the night before.
So you changed your plan.
I changed my plans at the last minute.
All right, and
That does look suspicious.
you provided law
if you think
enforcement
about
with some receipts and things to prove that you were in Tennessee at the time?
All that, and I got a flat tire, so I ended up getting videotaped at a Kmart. And I know the TPD used that to exclude me with the timestamp on the surveillance footage.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
it. Wow, how lucky. Wow.
At some point, did you learn
I'm
that the
telling you.
killers came to town?
Jeffrey has like some sort of guardian angel watching over him. To get involved with this woman in the first place and to be named a potential suspect before being completely cleared because he just randomly, you want to call it a coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences, folks. I've been on this planet 37 years. I know I may not look it. I look 50 with my gray hair. But I will say that getting a flat tire the morning of the assassination, oh my God. Oh my God. Some guardian angels this guy has, huh? Wow. And just to randomly be caught on surveillance footage of a Kmart as he's going in to fix his tire. Unbelievable.
Tallahassee in June, not just in July.
Yes, when the arrests were made and the documents were released, I learned that, yes.
And did you put together some facts about your travel plans that day that could have potentially made you a suspect on that trip as well if the murder had happened as
Yeah,
planned?
that Friday, I was scheduled to go to a business trip in Gainesville, leaving at 11 a.m. So 2 times in 2014, I leave town on a trip by myself in my car, and both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel, once successfully, obviously.
Are you familiar with the type of vehicle that was originally rented by the killers in June to make that June trip?
I am.
Okay. And was that significant to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is long after this all happened. I'm learning this from court proceedings in 2016. But when I heard they rented a gray Altima initially, I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car on the rental market.
I'm going to show you what I've marked as state's demonstrative.
Oh my God.
exhibit B.
Oh my God.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. I just realized, I don't know if you guys know this. I think they were trying to make it look like he did it. The Adelsons. Oh my Lord. Wow. The level of disgust. Oh my God. This is abhorrent. They tried to make Jeffrey look like the culprit. Folks, this is beyond heinous. This is beyond disgusting. This is so... I can't. I was not ready for this. We're almost done with his testimony, and I was just like, okay, he's the ex-boyfriend, da-da. Thank you, chat, to whoever told me that I need to cover his testimony. There were several of you. Now I understand why. Holy mother of God. Oh, I was not ready for this.
All right, is this the make and model of the, it's not the actual rental car, but the make and model of the rental car compared to the make and model of your vehicle?
Yeah, my car's right on top. That looks just like the car I had at the time.
And he left town both times.
Your Honor?
You may.
I have one more moment to confer, please. No further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, just a moment.
All right, what do you got, bud?
Morning.
Good morning.
And it's Dr. Lacoste, correct?
Jeff is fine. Mr. Lacasse is fine.
Have you testified that it was your understanding that my client, Donna Adelson, was aware of the motion that the state has called the grandmother motion?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how she took that?
It was I'm hearing this stuff from Wendy.
Okay. Well, do you know how she took it?
I mean, I wasn't there to observe her reaction. The whole family was upset about every one of these motions, was my impression, information coming from Wendy.
Okay. And so the only person that you spoke with about how the family took things was from Wendy?
Putting Charlie's...
Aside from Charlie in the hospital?
Aside from Charlie in the hot tub, it was all through Wendy. That's correct, sir.
Isn't it true that you found Wendy... let me find the exact quote. Didn't you find Wendy to be a deeply deceitful person?
Yes, depending on the topic. I mean, that's true. But a lot of the stuff she told me about her family was later released in evidence. I'm talking about the kids getting...
Your Honor, I'd move to strike that response.
Sustained. Mr. Lacoste, you are only to respond to the question that you are asked. Members of the jury, the portions of the answer that were non-responsive you were not considered. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you yourself do not have any personal knowledge as to how my client, Donna Adelson, took the grandmother motion, do you?
No.
Isn't it true that you only had limited small talk with my client, Donna Adelson?
That's correct.
Now let's talk about the damage to the television that you observed in June of 2014. Can you tell us again how you described that?
Yeah, there was a spider web pattern, like in the center of the screen, and it radiates outwards. Anywhere it's been cracked, it will pixelate. So you can see what's going on, you can track it, but it's not pleasant, and you would never watch that TV. And we watched a whole movie on that TV at Wendy's insistence, which was why I remember this. It was a very strange evening.
Didn't you suggest going to watch the movie on another TV?
Yes, I did. There was a perfectly good TV in the other room. That's correct.
And she made a fuss.
I tried to respect Wendy's boundaries, her house, her kids, so she didn't have to make a fuss. It's an awkward situation dating someone who has, 2 kids, so I'm not insisting on anything. But the kids were whining about the broken TV. That is correct, sir.
Made it difficult to even really watch or enjoy the movie.
That's right.
Could you tell us about how big that impact was?
This sized?
Adult or child?
I don't remember with that precision.
Okay. You testified about a statement that Wendy Adelson said to you on July 13th of 2014 that she wanted to say to you in confidence.
Yes.
And it was that her brother looked into hiring a hitman.
Her brother, Charlie.
Her brother, Charlie.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Just a moment, Your Honor. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect examination.
No, Your Honor.
Short and
You may
sweet.
step down, Mr. Lacoste.
Short and sweet. I mean, I anticipated nothing less because at the end of the day, my first gut instinct was, you know, they're going to have to lay into this witness. But then my second reaction was, wait a second, do they? He all but admitted, I have not seen Donna, I've not spoken to Donna, I don't know Donna's reaction firsthand. Everything I heard came from Wendy. Okay, so Wendy is the culprit. Case closed. Thank you very much. Sit down. I think that was a good cross, actually. Short, direct, trying to make it look like this witness is completely irrelevant for purposes of trying to convict Donna. So I think job, at least in that brief period, was accomplished. Now, is that enough for all the other evidence that is about to pile on as we're going to continue going over this case on this channel? Probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. We're going to do Wendy tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Those are going to premiere 4 and 7 p.m. Eastern time. They're going to be longer episodes, as I have said. So don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel so you, God forbid, do not want to miss. You do not want to miss this. Her testimony is long. The videos are going to be longer than usual because I want to make sure this weekend Wendy is going to be done. And then we're going to move on to Katie on Tuesday. So I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you'll learn something, and I will see you all for Wendy's testimony. Bye, everybody.